Hey, before you dive into the world of Pokemon investing, hold up. There were some costly mistakes you can make and which I ran into and where I learned from. So, I will share them today with you. 10 mistakes that can derail your Pokemon investment strategy. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on number 7. It's one even experienced collectors fall sometimes for it. So grab your Pokédex and let's get started. Did you know that a single mistake can turn a potential investment into a complete loss? That's happened also to me. And imagine you're dropping like thousands on a rare card, and then after a few days you just find out it's just fake. So yeah, you don't want that to happen, so let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. Mistake number 1. Overpaying for hype. First up, don't get swept in the hype. We've all been there, and a new set drops, everyone's talking about it, you start seeing insane prices for cards that just came out. Remember the craze around the 25th anniversary collection? Like prices for those cards were through the roof. But that's the thing, hype fades and those prices dropped like a rock once the initial excitement was over. Here's what you need to know. If a card just launched, take a step back and ask yourself, are you buying it because you genuinely believe its value? Or are you just afraid you're missing something out? Because in the world of Pokemon also FOMO can be your worst enemy, stands for fear of missing out. And a good rule of thumb is to wait a few weeks or even months before purchasing a newly released card. That way the initial hype settles also and you get a more realistic idea of its true value, and the price also can find its real value. Mistake number 2. Ignoring condition and grading. A card's condition is everything when it comes to its value. So for instance, a PSA 10 Blastoise can fetch thousands, while a PSA 9, just one grade lower, might be worthy only a fraction of that. It's mostly true for every card, so it's like an exponential function where you have like the values for 8s, not really increase the value of a card, 9s, okay, they will increase the value of a card, and 10 just blow it off the mind. We're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in difference for what might seem like a minor imperfection. But here's a catch, those imperfections like slight whitening on the edge or small scratch on the surface might not be visible directly. So what do? Always get your cards graded by a reputable service like PSA, Beckett or CGC. Not only does this authenticate your card's condition, but it also gives buyers confidence, making it easier to sell later on. So most people watching on like PSA, Beckett, CGC card. Also, if you're planning to invest, it's often better to buy graded cards rather than raw cards. Then this way you know exactly what you're getting, and there's no risky or nasty surprises like if you buy a card on Card Market or TCG Player, you often get the card which is like said to be new mint, but in reality it's not new mint. So I think every one of us got many cards that was misgraded or labeled the wrong way. If you buy a graded card, you know what you get. And if you're buying raw cards, make sure to ask the seller for high quality pictures and details about any potential flaws. Trust me, a little due diligence here goes a long way. Mistake number 3. Focusing only on rare cards. One of the biggest mistakes I see is collectors only going for rare cards like Charizard, Lugias. Sure, those are great, but if everyone's going for them and after them, you're going to pay a premium. What about the underdogs? For example, have you ever heard of the X series or Gem Leaders? I know the more experienced of you really know this. These are incredible undervalued compared to the hype beast, and they often have a lower print run also. So we come to that later. Let's not forget about niche variants either, like the reverse holos from lesser known sets. These might not be top of mind, but they're goldmines also for the savvy investors. By diversifying your collection and looking into less obvious cards, you're not only spreading your risk, but also increasing your chances of discovering hidden gems that can offer great returns in the future. Mistake number 4. Neglecting to diversify. Diversification isn't just for stock portfolios, it's crucial in Pokemon investing too. Imagine you're putting all your money into one specific card or set and then suddenly the market changes or crashes. Ouch. And you need to spread your investments across different categories like vintage cards, modern cards, and even sealed products. So let's break it down. Vintage cards, like those from the base set or Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery, are always in demand because they are from the early days of Pokemon. But modern cards, especially those with limited print runs or unique artworks, can skyrocket also in value. Think like of the recent Umbreon hype, or like Moonbreon, how it's called today. Then there's also sealed products like booster boxes, displays, and packs. These can appreciate over time, especially if they are from popular or limited sets. A balanced portfolio in Pokemon might look something like this: 50% in vintage cards, 30% in modern cards, and 20% in sealed products. But here you can adapt it to your preferences, like if you're collecting cards also, and not only look at the investment perspective. Maybe you do not want to have like many sealed products, but you rather want to have like more vintage cards. Or if you like really the artworks from modern cards, then go for the modern cards. My advice would be invest also in that what you like, and then you will have also fun with it and not look only from the investment perspective on it. If you really only want to have like the view from the investment perspective, I think mostly it's best to buy like displays. But for myself, I rather go to like vintage cards, and they're the greater vintage cards because I really like them, and also they keep in value. This way you're protected if one area of the market takes a hit. And remember, even within these categories, you can diversify further. But don't just buy Charizards, look also on Pikachu's, Eevee evolutions, and also other fan favorites. The more diverse your portfolio, the more resilient it is to market fluctuations. Mistake number 5. Not understanding market cycles. Pokemon cards don't just go up forever. There are cycles, and understanding these can mean the difference between buying high and selling low, or vice versa. For example, back in 2020, the pandemic caused a huge spike in card prices because everyone was at home, rediscovering their collection from childhood. But after the initial surge, price started also to stabilize, but at a higher level than before. This is likely to the fact that a specific share of the new collectors that joined or rejoined the Pokemon trading card space stays for the long run, even if the most folks left the hobby after a few months or even a few days, most of them. And this is always in hypes the case. So you can see this behavior not only in Pokemon trading card market, but also in all markets, like stock markets, and especially in crypto you can see this behavior all the way. And this is normal. Markets have ups and downs. What you need to do is recognize when the card or set is whether at its peak or at its low, and when it's likely then to drop when it's at peak. Maybe you notice a lot of people suddenly talking about Pokemon TCG, or even in your social groups and social media in general, that usually don't even talk about it, and everyone is talking about it. And that's always a sign that we are entering either the top at a cycle and the card then reaching its peak value. On the flip side, if a card hasn't been talked about for a while, but has a history of high value, it might be a good time to buy in. You can use tools like eBay Souls Listing, website like TCG Player, Card Market to track the historical prices. I will leave you a link down below for helpful pages also. Take a look in the comments, and if you like the video, feel free to like it. And remember, patience is your friend here. Don't panic, sell during a dip, or get overly excited during a peak. A well-timed buy or sell can maximize your return significantly, but also if you miss out on an opportunity, it's not the end of the world. You can still hold it. And so there's my advice, what I do the most part. The easiest way is just buy cards that you really love yourself. And also, if you miss your point, if you can sell it for a high price, you don't even consider it because you really like the card and want to keep it. So you hold it, and then in the next cycle, it have a much higher value. It's only for the cards where you really want to buy it and sell it high. It's always a risky part. I do not want to recommend this, but you can try to do it. But yeah, I would usually give the advice to buy cards that you really like and then stay in the long run. Mistake number 6. Buying from unverified sources. Buying from unverified sources is a gamble, and not the fun kind of gamble. Scams are everywhere today, and especially when it comes to high value Pokemon cards. There are fake cards, resale packs, even counterfeit booster boxes, displays. You might think you're getting a great deal there, but you could end up with a pile of worthless fakes. Always stick to reputable sellers. If you're buying on eBay, check the seller's feedback and ratings. Look for sellers who have a long history and positive reviews. Sites like TCG Player and Card Market, established stores also are safer bets. So usually you have there a large rating history, so you can just check them up. So usually they are legit. If you're buying on forums or Facebook groups or something like this, then I would recommend use like PayPal goods and service option for extra protection. And don't forget to ask for detailed photos and even videos if you're buying something very expensive or expensive. And it's your right as buyer to know exactly what you're getting. So scammers rely on people rushing into deals, so take your time and be cautious. Remember, if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Mistake number 7. Ignoring community insights. Here's a big one. Even seasoned collectors miss out on this. Engaging with the community. Forums, Facebook groups, Discord channels. These are the gold mines for insider information. You'll hear about upcoming releases, changes in the market, and sometimes even get tips on where to find the best deals before they hit the mainstream. Think of it this way, the Pokemon investing community is like the stock market insiders. They know what's trending and what's cooling down, even which sellers are trustworthy. Plus, by joining communities or groups, you get to connect with people who have been doing this for years or like decades. You can learn from them, their successes, and even more importantly, their mistakes, like in this video. So don't go it alone. Join groups, follow influencers in the space, and be active also on your own. Ask questions there. Share your thoughts and build relationships. Then you can talk about it. And you'll be surprised at how much you can learn just by being part of the conversation. And yeah, YouTube is also a very good source of information as well. Mistake number 8. Skipping the research on set print runs. Not all sets are created equal. Some have massive print runs, while others are surprisingly scarce. Knowing this can give you a huge advantage. There are some informations you can find out. Not for all sets you can get the very exact number of it, but you can make assumptions, or you can get a closer value if you do research on your own. You can, for example, use the PSA grading table. There you have a distribution of cards that got graded, and also you can make like assumptions there how large the complete market of a specific set is. Because if there are thousands of graded cards, you can then make a difference if there are thousands, hundreds, or tens of thousands of a PSA 10, for example. So this can give you an indication which sets are not so rare or which are more scarce. Also, this is often related to the current hype, because if there are a lot of people joining this space, the Pokemon company decides to print more because they can just sell it without a problem. Then there are times where are not so many people in the space. Like for example, in the beginning there was a lot of people collecting the first one, in jungle even more. But then the hype got a little bit less, so the hype faded away, and then there was not so many people left. And so the sets which came after this, not in the hype, these sets are much rarer than the ones before. And so this is only one part of it, so it's like the supply side doesn't give indications to the demand side directly, but it gives you an indication and can help you. If you're serious about investing, spend time researching print runs and understanding how they affect the market value of the cards. This knowledge can help you spot opportunities that others might miss. Maybe I'll make a video also on this topic on our own in the future. Mistake number 9. Not protecting your cards properly. Card condition is crucial. Doesn't just mean like avoiding obvious damage like scratches or bans or something like this. You need to store your cards properly to maintain their value. Investing in quality sleeves and top loaders is a must, but it doesn't stop there. Make sure your cards are stored in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight, because I have many of them I stored as a child and in sunlight. They are really not looking good anymore. I can show you some here in the pictures. And yeah, you don't want that your cards look like this. For your really valuable cards, consider storing them in a graded card case or even a safe. Think of it as a small insurance policy on your investment. I would only recommend this for really high values and not for lower values with a safe. but you can just store it somewhere safe also in your home. And let's talk about handling. This might seem very general to you, but always wash your hands before handling cards to avoid oils and dirt. These small habits can make a huge difference in preserving the condition and ultimately the value of your collection. Mistake number 10, not having an exit strategy. And finally, the most overlooked mistake, having no exit strategy. Most people think of investing as just buying and holding, but when it comes to collectibles, you need to know when and how you plan to sell. Are you waiting for a specific milestone like 20th anniversary of a card, or are you planning to sell when the market hits a particular price point? Have a clear goal in mind, doesn't matter which goal, but make a plan prior before you start to invest. Your exit strategy could also to keep it indefinitely, so that you do not want to sell it at any point, but make an exit strategy for specific investments. And don't forget about the fees involved in selling, especially on platforms like eBay or through auction houses also. The fees could be substantially high, like up to 10% on eBay or even higher. And also on card market you have like fees or TCG player. Calculate your net profit, not just the sale price, to see if you're really making a good return on your investment. It's also a good idea to stay flexible. The market can change quickly and you might need to adjust your strategy. The key is to always have a plan, so you're not just scrambling to sell when you should be holding or vice versa. So always plan your exit strategy in advance. There you have it. 10 mistakes to avoid if you want to succeed in Pokemon investing. Have you made any of these mistakes by yourself? Let me know down in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Pokemon tips and tricks. Catch you all in the next one.